Do I miss them yet? Do you? By Anna von Reitz. I sure haven't missed those 800,000 employees yet, and don't expect to. Why? Because they weren't serving me. They were serving themselves and their fellow British Territorial (US) citizens and municipal citizens. So their absence has no effect on the actual employers, because they are doing nothing whatsoever of value for their employers and are instead busily helping themselves, literally, and other foreign corporation employees and their dependents. It didn't have any effect on us in 2000 when the government shut down for 90 days, either. We didn't even know about that one. They just vacated Washington, D.C., and entertained us all with their Florida Chads election scandal. The actual people of this country are being grossly disserved, and both the territorial and municipal governments are operating in gross breach of trust. Why? Because all these 800,000 non-essential employees are on our backs, together with their dependents, doing nothing but to service their own bureaucracy and portion out all their benefits and insurances and pensions and all the rest of it. This is the predictable result of leaving the foxes to run the henhouse. Nobody has been holding these subcontractors to any reasonable performance or efficiency standard. They have been working an international commercial enslavement and racketeering scheme on our shores without our knowledge, and instead of protecting us from this, which is their purported most important job and the reason for these organizations to exist, they have been profiting themselves and racketeering instead. Thank God and Donald Trump that some measure of accountability and discipline is being introduced. I sincerely hope that all the rumors about Gitmo and military tribunals are true and that the worst of the crimes are being addressed, but that still leaves us with a municipal government running out of control on our shores, almost 1 million employees that not only don't serve us, but serve themselves to our detriment, and a population that only now beginning to wake up to reality. You know, I have had some people who have been indoctrinated into the mind control of political correctness criticize me for referring to criminally self-serving bankers, bureaucrats, politicians, and clergymen as a vermin, like rats in a grain storage facility, eating up the grain, or locusts stripping every kernel. But what else am I to liken this situation to? What other description or label applies? These people have been in here acting, as in acting on stage, as our elected representatives, and all based on private corporate elections that have nothing to do with us, the actual American states and people. They have been running a sting, a flim-flam operation on an international scale for over 100 years. Not just here, worldwide. They come in, they confer a gift membership, citizenship on us, hold private corporate elections for private corporate offices that are deceitfully and similarly named like our actual public offices, and then pretend that we have knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily given them authority to own us as chattel, charge against our credit, rule over us, subject us to their foreign, statutory laws, and they call that serving us. If so, it's the service that bulls give cows. No, I don't miss those 800,000 non-essential employees. If there has been any mistake about who is essential and who is not, that should be apparent after 30 days, and Mr. Trump is invited to riff all the rest of them with my good graces and a heartfelt good riddance. Start over with a clean slate and hire back as needed. Shift the pension burden and debt and all the rest of it back where it belongs, on the Holy See and the British government. Lord knows, they stole enough from us to be able to afford it. I do believe that a larger and larger percentage of the American public and people all around the world are finally examining what is passing for their own government, and they are seeing through the great fraud perpetuated by these so-called governmental service corporations operating as governments. The news is passing by word of mouth and by people thinking for themselves and researching things and looking around and finding out, by golly, those tin hats were right. The American state jural assemblies are booted up in every state of the Union now. The public and organic law is back in effect. Americans are sorting themselves out, and every day, more jural assembly members show up for duty. It's all perfectly lawful, a matter of peacefully restoring and reconstructing the government we are owed. Please hit subscribe, like, share and get ready for many more Anna von Reitz videos.